Britain's enemy number one, the life and times of Tipu Sultan. The year is 1799 in England. People are merry in the streets as jubilant celebrations take place. The reason? The death of Britain's worst colonial enemy, Tipu Sultan, the Tiger of Mysore, a man who struck fear in the hearts of the English, so much so that his death was declared a public holiday. Welcome to the Simplified History Buff. Today we embark on a journey to discover the life and legacy of an extraordinary historical figure, Tipu Sultan, also known as the Tiger of Mysore. In this video, we'll delve into topics such as his early life, the groundbreaking rocket technology he introduced to warfare, his military manual, and his profound and lasting impact on history. Tipu Sultan, born on November the 20th, 1750 in Devanahalli, Mysore, which is present-day Karnataka, India, was the eldest son of Sultan Hyder Ali and Fatima Fakhrun Nisa. His father, Hyder Ali, was a skilled military leader and administrator who laid the foundation for the Sultanate of Mysore. Starting off as a lowly artilleryman in the service of the kingdom, he quickly rose up the ranks and became a powerful military leader. In 1761, at a time of royal weakness, Hyder quickly overthrew the king Krishna Raja Vodayar II and the Prime Minister, the Peshwa, and styled himself Sultan Hyder Ali Khan. Although illiterate, he was reportedly very sharp in terms of planning and memory. He also kept a very regular correspondence with the Mughal emperor of the time, Shah Alam II, and the Nizam of Hyderabad. During his reign, there were two wars fought against the British, both of which were relatively successful. In fact, the Second Anglo-Mysorean War ended with the Treaty of Mangalore, which was the last treaty in history in which a state of the Indian subcontinent dictated its terms to the British East India Company. So, the Tipu Sultan's father was already a great warrior, and this was certainly passed down to his son. It is important to note that during these campaigns, Tipu Sultan really excelled and was considered his father's foremost and most capable commander. From a very young age, Tipu displayed remarkable intelligence and a keen interest in military strategy. Hyder Ali recognized his son's potential and ensured he received the best education in various disciplines, including science and military tactics. He was also educated in topics such as Arabic, Persian, Kannada, which is a South Indian language, and Urdu. He was also very well versed in Islamic studies, including things like fiqh, which is Islamic jurisprudence, and the study of the Quran. An avid hunter, archer, and fencer, he was a natural warrior. As a result, Tipu Sultan emerged as a productive and visionary leader, ready to embrace the responsibilities that come with the throne. During the wars that his father waged, primarily against other Indian states such as the Maratha Confederacy, but also against the British East India Company, he was his father's right-hand man and showed success early in his life as a strategist and tactician. One of the most remarkable aspects of Tipu Sultan's reign was his groundbreaking innovation in rocket technology and warfare tactics. During his rule, he established a specialized rocket unit known as the Mysorean rockets, also sometimes called Mysore rockets or Tipu's rockets. The rockets were crafted with iron tubes filled with gunpowder and fitted with a stabilizing stick. These rockets could be launched with great precision and had an impressive range of up to 2 kilometers. They were often used as artillery in warfare and proved to be highly effective against enemy infantry and cavalry. Tipu Sultan's effective deployment of these rockets during his battles with the British in the late 18th century was a turning point in military history. The British, who were previously unfamiliar with such advanced technology, were astounded by the accuracy and destructive power of Mysorean rockets. They also served as psychological warfare, for many writings and journals of his foes tell of the fear enemy troops felt for the sound and power of the rockets. Tipu Sultan's rocket technology was a game changer. His ingenious use of these rockets to repel British advances showcased his military prowess and strategic acumen. The British East India Company, facing defeat in several encounters with Tipu's forces, took a keen interest in studying and replicating this innovative technology. So the knowledge gained from studying Mysorean rockets led to the development of so-called Congreve rockets by officer Sir William Congreve. These rockets were based on the design principles of Tipu's rockets and were subsequently used during the Napoleonic Wars and the War of 1812. So the British learned a considerable amount of military knowledge from the generals of the subcontinent, whom they considered to be beneath them and considered to be primitive barbarians. I will now show a demonstration of what the Congreve rockets would have looked like. These were very similar to Mysorean rockets, although not exactly the same. They had the same range. Perhaps the most influential part of his life were the two Anglo-Mysorean wars he fought. The first lasted from 1789 to 1792 and started when Tipu attacked a neighboring kingdom known as the Kingdom of Travancore, which was de facto, so in reality, a British puppet state. The Mahajara of Travancore had anticipated this assault and had built a series of defences called the Nedum Kota, or Travancore lines. These were initially successful at keeping the Mysoreans at bay. However, on the 29th of December 1789, Tipu Sultan invaded, which in turn triggered the Third Anglo-Mysorean War, since Travancore had been protected by the British. Honoring earlier treaties with the British, both the Maratha Confederacy and the Nizam of Hyderabad also joined the war on the British side. Tipu had hoped for support from the French. However, this would never materialize since the French were currently going through their infamous revolution. The main goal of the Allies was to take the strategic cities of Seringapatam and Bangalore. Bangalore fell without much resistance. However, Tipu Sultan managed to inflict a crippling defeat on the Allied forces near Seringapatam, and they were forced to retreat. The Mysoreans swiftly counterattacked, but were halted by British reinforcements who before long were back at the gates of Seringapatam. Tipu Sultan began peace talks on the 23rd of February 1792. Half of the territory of the Kingdom of Mysore was relinquished in the peace treaty. While parts of it were given to the Nizam and parts to the Maratha Confederacy, the majority was now directly controlled by the British East India Company. It is also imperative to consider the global political environment at the time. Napoleon, who was a sworn enemy of the English during Tipu Sultan's reign and had ravaged British armies in Europe, he hoped to cut off the British access to Indian resources by forming alliances with local rulers. The French military advisors who taught Tipu Sultan in his youth heavily influenced him, and he maintained a correspondence with Napoleon. Napoleon himself attacked Egypt with the goal of linking up French colonies in Africa with French possessions in the subcontinent, such as Pondicherry, and supporting freedom fighters, such as Tipu Sultan, to subdue British influence in the East. He sent a letter in 1799 to support Tipu Sultan. The English, however, were well aware of his intentions since they had intercepted the message and so decided to preemptively strike Mysore. The letter said the following: "You have already been informed of my arrival on the borders of the Red Sea, with an innumerable and invincible army, full of the desire of delivering you from the iron yoke of England. I eagerly embrace this opportunity of testifying to you the desire I have of being informed by you, by way of Muscat and Mocha, as to your political situation. I would even wish you could send me some intelligent person to Suez or Cairo, possessing your confidence, with whom I may confer. May the Almighty increase your power and destroy your enemies. Signed, Bonaparte." In 1799, the British launched an assault on Seringapatam, launching the Fourth Anglo-Mysorean War. Despite fighting valiantly, the Mysoreans were heavily outnumbered and still very weak from the previous war. Inevitably, in April of the next year, the coalition forces surrounded Seringapatam. Despite this, the outlook was grim for the colonists, since the city was well stocked and ready for a prolonged siege, while the British troops had already run out of supplies. An event that is considered to be one of the most tragic in Indian history took place at this time. A Mysorean minister known as Mir Sadek switched sides by ordering his troops to retreat from the perimeter of the city and killing Tipu loyalists. They waved a white flag as a signal and allowed the British to enter the city. Mir Sadek was then promptly killed by Mysoreans once they found out about his betrayal, and his body was defiled for 2 weeks straight. Even today, people pelt stones at his mausoleum. Today, his name, along with the name of another famous traitor in Indian history, Mir Jafar, are synonymous with deceit and betrayal. The famous poet Muhammad Iqbal wrote a piece of poetry in Urdu, Jafar-e Bengal o Sadek-e Dakkan, Nang-e Adam, Nang-e Deen, Nang-e Watan, which translated means Jafar of Bengal and Sadek of Deccan, a disgrace to mankind, a disgrace to their religion, and a disgrace to the nation. Such is the infamy that befalls traitors. By this point, Tipu Sultan was cornered, and he was observed defending his position till his final breath. When General George Harris, the leader of the British, saw his lifeless body, he is said to have exclaimed, "Now India is ours." The defeat of Tipu Sultan was celebrated as a public holiday in Great Britain, giving us insight into the awe that he struck even in his enemies for them to celebrate his death so extensively. His death was also made into a French play known as Tipu Sahib Tragedy. And so was the end of the Tiger of Mysore, the genius strategist, statesman, and freedom fighter who dedicated his life to fighting the British. Tipu Sultan's legacy endures to this day, influencing not only India's history but also the world's understanding of resistance against oppression and imperialism. Beyond his military achievements, Tipu was known for his vision of a modern and united Mysore. He initiated numerous economic reforms, he built irrigation systems, encouraged trade, and promoted the growth of industrialization. He was a true patron of arts and culture, fostering a multicultural environment where various ethnic and religious communities lived in harmony. In India, numerous monuments and places are associated with Tipu Sultan, such as his majestic summer palace, the Darya Daulat Bagh, and the iconic Sri Ranganatha Swarma Temple in Srirangapatna. These landmarks stand as a testament to its architectural and cultural contributions. Tipu Sultan's legacy reverberates beyond the borders of the subcontinent. His resistance against British colonization has inspired movements for independence and self-determination around the world. He is celebrated as a symbol of resilience and bravery, standing against colonial powers and fighting for the sovereignty of his kingdom. A painting of him is concluded in the original Constitution of India, and he is often very fondly remembered by the people of the subcontinent. If you found this video informative and engaging, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more exciting historical content. I have just started this channel and have little to no experience with YouTube, so please tell me what you thought of it in the comments. Please also give any constructive criticism or suggestions you may have. And please consider subscribing in order to support our mission to educate people on the history of the subcontinent. Thank you for joining us on this expedition to explore Tipu Sultan's life and legacy. Until next time, take care and keep exploring the wonders of history.